I had a job to do.
I need to get moving.
Purvis Dogny. Blackstone for a single season. And then he thought to turn away from us. To take from Golden Cross. My second in command and my most stalwart...
The Blackstones were coming up the east wall.
So much of warfare is about walls, gates, hills, doors. Every day, almost every fortress in these lands was...
What's that over there?
The fall of the last sanctuary in Ashfeld. 1,000 years have passed since then. The Iron Legion is made up of many smaller legions. The lion was the symbol of the regal legion. They were strong once. Now they have fallen to Blackstone might.
That is how it is done, you see?
The Iron Legion has a habit of mounting warden statues in front of doors. But they are hypocrites. The odds of when we stop fighting against it, nature will always... Warriors rarely see the people their wars affect. The displaced, the murdered, the starving. I saw all that when I was younger. I never forgot the lesson. This year's Viking horde. When Mount Rust erupted, they lost the sun for months. Crops and animals died. They came south, raiding for supplies. They continue to raid Ashfeld yearly.
Those archers need to go.
The Iron Legion traces its roots to a much older culture. An ancient empire led by centurions believed to be lost in the destruction. Machines of war. Many of them use plans that we do not fully understand. Techniques handed down through the generations that we have lost the theory for. They work just fine, though.
I need to take the flanks.
The Sanctuary of Harrogate. The last... In the West, punishments like the cage have been outlawed. In Ashfeld, however, we were less reluctant about using brutality to make a point. When lava cools, it can form a marvel. A black glass that can be shot. The geyser fields of Ashfeld were where the Iron Legion officially bowed the knee to the Blackstones. And the Royals, and so many others. We chose that place for its history. Iron Legionnaires are cattle. They fight when it's convenient for them, and run away from any challenge. When I took over the Blackstone Legion, the Vikings had permanent settlements in Ashfeld. Now, those were all gone. And soon, we would take the fight to them.
You could go back to Valkenheim.
We 7 leaders of the Blackstone Legion took demon names. It is both as a warning to others and a reminder to us. We all want to be remembered. Once, there were 15 of us in the Blackstone Circle. 8 times one of us claimed the title of Warlord. 7 times that Warlord proved too weak, too noble. The children of Ashfeld claim to all follow the same god. So many of my people fear the decorations of our savage foes. But I have never feared the demons of my enemies. The Vikings are ancient as we are. The difference is, they vanished for centuries. We never left. But any who doubt their claim to these lands need only look at the ruins their ancestors built for them. Wherever we go, the peaceful life that is called the Vikings have filled their mountains and valleys with horns and drums and signal fires. We were never going to slip into Valkenheim unnoticed. That is why I chose to enter through the front door. The cataclysm was not one. Our technology is what separates us from the Vikings. I am Apollyon. I was a warden once. Now, The Vikings have raided every year for as long as I can remember. They sack, loot, burn. My village was destroyed by them. Mine and hundreds of others. Valkenheim, home of the invaders who call themselves Vikings. It had been 40 years ago that knights last crossed the threshold into that great valley. Whatever happened...
The Vikings had numbers. We had technology.
The ancient kings of the Vikings were mighty.
The Viking tribes all have different customs. These look to be warborn offerings, probably for strength in war. Holden should never have sent those scouts ahead. He should have sent me first. Why didn't I say anything?
I wonder
They
who
docked their
would-
boats there, so there was a path to the top. I was sure of it. Soldiers cry and cringe and rage when they see their friends hanged. The volcano in Ashfeld gave Valkenheim 2 years of frozen rivers. We were there to take advantage of their disaster.
Mættu örlögum þínum!
Þetta er gömlu samkoma.
Hérna koma þeir!
We will leave this place a ruin. Like us, most of the Vikings don't even know their own history. These are their ancestral lands, lost a millennium ago. They returned from across the sea and reclaimed them. There had to be a better way inside than the front door. I had my pride to consider. That warden is a decent person. I had an idea. Getting inside was easier than I expected.
Gætið ykkar! Ég vissi að þú myndir Þetta óvinurinn.
Bregðið sverði!
Þarf ég að gera allt?
Their machinery was far beyond what I had expected to find. Since the last time I'd been through, the machinery was well made, but I had a job to do.
The ancient name for these structures is Trilithon. I asked a Viking once what she thought they were for. She didn't know. She said they'd just always been... The Vikings have always warred with themselves much more than with us. It is in their nature to feast on each other. That nature has been stolen from them. Spurngard. The Vikings are so very careful to equitably distribute their food supplies. It all passes through Sverngard. We knew at Sverngard that within a day Viking ships would fill the harbor and their army would destroy us. But I intended to be long gone. We dragged our ram's machinery across... We could have broken open that gate with a far smaller ram. But that would have taken time. The fortress of Sverngard was home to many of the wealthiest Viking clans. The merchant trade... I am Apollyon. I have come to instruct. For too long, the fearful prey among the Vikings have whispered their lies of peace. Now, that era ends. The legendary Jarl Gudmund. In another time, he would have been a king, beloved by his people, the fiercest of warriors. Whoever faced him would either become another notch in that belt.
There's nowhere else to
We
go.
would leave survivors to tell the tale of what had been lost at Sverngard. And when they heard, they would come, looking for what was left.